Hi, I'm Heather from booktubes, and today is Witty Banter romance recommendations. I have not filmed in like 3 weeks, had not done a sit-down regular video, and I'm excited to be back doing this. I love witty banter. Dialogue, banter, those conversations, how you structure it, what your characters are saying to each other. It is the most important thing to me as a reader. I live for it. It is my favorite part, or the thing that will immediately make me lose interest in the book. However, I am so bad at remembering what books have witty banter or that I loved the banter in them. I have always been atrocious at this. I don't know what it is. I can't remember. I never do anything obvious like putting it in my review or putting it on a specific shelf or making any sort of list for myself. I don't do that, but I'm just really bad at remembering. So these are the ones that in my mind I view as the couple having interesting, funny, maybe a little bit antagonistic, but in like a clever sort of way, interactions. First one is Leviathan Song, which is Badlands #1 by Elsie Winters. This is my least favorite in the series. There's a little bit of a lull in, the third quarter of the book. However, y'all know how much I love the series, so clearly I do love it. You have a elf and a siren, a male siren, and his magic, lures everyone in, and she does her magic through jewelry and kind of imbuing all of her creations. She has a very rare magic, and so she is kind of immune to it because of the protections that she already has woven into her jewelry. And so she like confronts him and is like, what are you doing? And all of this. And he is a cinnamon roll. He is so sweet, and he's also very afraid of love, of course. But the two of them just go at it, and her best friend is like such a feisty, in your face, whether you're talking about character, and her book is next, and their banter is so good too. And she does an antagonistic blowjob scene. That's one of the best things I've ever read, so know that. Next one is Getting Schooled, which is the Wright Brothers #1 by Christina C. Jones. This is a teacher's assistant in college, and then he is a older student, so he is in his 30s, I think. And he is a veteran. He has lost a leg, is a disabled hero. She is so rude to this man, like right off the bat. Like they are so antagonistic to each other, and they are like forced kind of into cooperating with each other. And he is thriving on it, and she like genuinely just dislikes him for no reason. But then there's also parts that like she is really impressed by, and she's just like, when you're not irritating me for no reason, you're great. And like they just go at each other. And Christina C. Jones is the queen of dialogue. If you want characters who have what sounds like real conversations but funny and clever, Christina C. Jones is the author for you. And I have The Evil Twin by Kati Wilde. This is a kind of ridiculous fantasy romance novella, and it is the evil twin of the king. The king, of course, is a douchebag, surprising no one, but his twin promised their mother on her deathbed that he wouldn't kill his brother. So he is trying to find a way to not have to serve his brother, but also not kill his brother, which he's going to do if he spends too much more time with him. So he has a plan to seduce his brother's bride and get caught in the act of doing so, and he'll just rule her kingdom instead. It's a win-win-win. And these two, they're just so clever with each other. Their banter, the way that they mock other people, like right in front of them, I live for it. It is the exact type of like sarcastic, we're in on the joke and we're like, commentating that I love. I love it. I could read it all the time. It's also got some really good steamy scenes, so know that. Then I have The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sangu Mandana. This is a very popular book. It is not super heavy on the romance, although it's definitely there, more than I thought it might be. Witches live in our world, but they keep their identity a secret because, we would kill them, that type of thing. So she is very isolated, a very lonely lady, she has been lonely since she was a child. Witches can't gather together very much because magic congregates to them, and then there are lots of magical mishaps that are harder to hide. And she is asked to tutor these 3 young witches who shouldn't be living together on magic to keep themselves safe from a specific deadline that is coming. And there is a grumpy librarian caretaker who their banter is so delightful. He's so grumpy, but from such a like caring, sensitive place. And I just loved all of their interactions. Also, some of the children have hilarious banter with them, and also there's like older caretakers as well. All of them, just the dialogue is so good. It's so snappy and funny and sweet, and I enjoyed this book a ridiculous amount. If you want a delightful book, delightful, if you just want to feel good, fantastic. Then I have The Duchess Deal, which is Girl Meets Duke #1 by Tessa. I read this years ago, and it still lives in my mind as one that I really enjoyed the banter. Particularly because he's a duke, he's grumpy, no one's ever gonna love me, blah, 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 blah. I'm pretty sure he has like scarring on his face or something, which of course is the worst thing possible for a human. Don't even get me started, I'm so irritated. And his fiance jilts him. She's not going to marry him, and he really needs an heir. And the dressmaker comes to his house and is wearing the wedding gown and is like, hey, I made this monstrosity to your fiance's exact requirements. No one is going to buy this, because who would buy this? Who would wear this? This is hideous. However, I made it and now I can't sell it, so you are going to pay me for it. And he is just like, well, you're gonna have to marry me. That's what we're gonna do. And he's so grumpy, and anytime that he like crosses the line, you're like, oh great, here's where, you know, she's gonna dry away and hurt, and they're gonna have miscommunication. They're going to not talk to each other for 6 months. She's like, I can see that you are tired or thirsty or hungry or are not used to dealing with your feelings, or, you know, are feeling vulnerable right now. And I'm just going to give you some time. It's okay. When you've got your act together, we'll talk again. And the way that she just handles him is one of the best. It's one of the best. And it's definitely one of my favorite historical romances ever. Even though it is incredibly popular in historical romance space, it's really worth the hype, in my opinion. And lastly, I have Dreammaker, which is Dream Team #1 by Kristen. This is a spin-off series, but it can easily be read on its own. You just, you know, won't know every single character that is being referenced, which you gotta start somewhere, right? When authors have like these entire universes, I don't think it's really all that important to start at the beginning, especially because a lot of times they're significantly older work, so maybe not, you know. But this is a group of strippers and then a group of commandos, and they like pair off. The bridge novella is one of my favorites, Quiet Man. He's so quiet, she's so not, and they work perfectly together. But this one, I remember she is working her way through college, I believe, and she really doesn't want to be a stripper. Some of the girls love being a stripper, that is what they want to do, and some of them are doing it kind of out of necessity. It's the best option, and they don't really love it, and I like that mix of motivations. So she is incredibly smart, but she's also very clumsy. And their first date is because their friend set them up, and it doesn't go great. It's not great, but also he's like, you're the one for me. You're a dork, and I love it. And their banter is so good. He just teases her constantly. She dishes it right back, and they are just a really fun time. It is romantic suspense, so you're gonna have, you know, kidnappings and shenanigans and random bad guys, and why are we so interested in this woman? No one knows, but she's the chosen one. You know, that type of thing. But it's just a really good time, especially if you like alpha heroes who will do anything for their woman. So that's it. Those are my Witty Banter romance recommendations. If you have any that you're like, the dialogue, the conversations, the banter, it was just so good in this one, definitely let me know, because that's my favorite thing about the book. It's my favorite thing, and I'm always looking for that specifically. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!